Hi everybody, it's me again, and um, if you've seen in the previous video, you'll know that I am so excited for this remake, and I'm excited to see what they do. But at the same time, I have to admit that there are things that I can also not be excited about. But, well, with every remake, I think there is a chance to try something new. If you've seen some of the remakes, whether you liked it or not, and in this case I won't mean Disney. Um, Look at the King Kong remake versus the original. It actually tried a few new things. Yeah, they copied yes, they copied the plot, but they added a few new twists to it that made it stand on its own. And I, or if we have to look at a Disney movie, or if we have to look at a Disney remake, let's look at the Jungle Book remake versus the original. And in my personal opinion, I think it's a really good one. I plan to talk about it another time, but basically I the differences between those two movies are very much loud and clear, so that when you watch each one, they were able to stand on their own. Maybe united by the book, but otherwise, these were movies that could stand on their own. You could watch the live action Jungle Book without a you could watch the live action Jungle Book a and it would be a good movie on its own. And the same could be said for the original movie also. And I'm hoping that something like that goes on for the Little Mermaid, but I also get the feeling it might do copy and paste. So what this video is going to be are things that I do want to see happen,
but also things that I don't want to see happen. Yes, all the negatives will be sounding like this. So what do we say that we do not want to see in the remake? I do not want to see Disney skip poor unfortunate souls. You know that that's the song that needs to stay, because that's when the Sea Witch goes all out and in a way that convinces Ariel to give everything up for all this and make the stupid choice that you know that she should not make. You could skip the certain lyrics that offend all the crying people that don't like hearing that. But that's what she says to Ariel, and it also develops Ursula's character a little bit more. So I think you should just get a grip and just play that song. Because if you don't, if you do not have Melissa McCarthy or whoever might be dubbing her singing voice, I don't know, can she sing? You just tell me. Does she sing? If she doesn't sing that song, or if they monologue it like they did in The Lion King, don't be surprised if I start singing it myself, because I can actually pull it off. Tribute to Pat Carroll, by the way, who is the OG Ursula. But kudos to Melissa McCarthy, the poor unfortunate soul who has inherited this role. What else do I not want to see? Do not dare justify Ariel's stupid choices, because she makes the choice. And just because she makes a choice does not mean that she's going to, that everything's going to work out perfectly for her. And clearly, in the original, it doesn't work out perfectly like she wants it. Because that's where Ursula the Sea Witch comes in and ruins it. She's always had a motive on how to ruin the plan for everybody. But also, even the late Hans Christian Andersen could not justify the Little Mermaid's major mistake of giving up her voice just for a pair of legs and for a handsome body figure man. So, Ariel makes the choice. Just leave it at that. Don't try. Don't you dare try to say, oh, she had a oh, she did this to teach a lesson because every screaming parent was going, Ariel's a bad role model, boo. Who cares? Do you think Peter Pan was a good role model to begin with? Ariel's not meant to be a role model. She's a character that makes her choices. And the final thing which ties into this one, do not make Ariel a Mary Sue. I've seen what you've done with Mulan in the remake, and how very bland and too perfect she is. It is disgusting trying to see women being all perfect just because society seems to like it so much. Who cares? Because you know what? Women have flaws too. It's how you work with them and not underestimate the importance of body language. Ha! But you know what I mean. Ariel makes her choices. She learns to go with it. And how it works for or against her is how the story progresses. So don't try to make her perfect in every way. The original couldn't make her perfect, and even Hans Christian Andersen couldn't make her perfect. So don't you Disney try to make her that perfect.
But with that said, what am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to seeing this series develop Prince Eric. Because you know what? As much as I liked him in the original version, I think he was still slightly bland. Granted, he had a lot more personality than Prince Boring in Cinderella and the Prince in Snow White, and also Prince Philip. Prince Philip, I didn't really say much. And Snow White's prince, he's good looking and he's got a great singing voice, but that's about it. And nice that they gave Eric some lots of lines, a lot more than they gave the original princess, but I don't think he's that interesting. I'm sorry. He's good looking, I'll give you that, but he's not really that interesting in my opinion. I want to see more from this prince. And also, in the original, I'm going to ask this. In the original, was he a prince or a king? If he's a prince, where's the king and queen? Where are his parents? For goodness sake. Maybe the remake will explain that. The remake did a great job developing the prince and Cinderella, and even saying, yes, there is a king, before the prince eventually becomes king. I hope they do that with Prince Eric. Fingers crossed for that.
Don't you mean tentacles crossed?
All right, that's enough. Okay, what else do I want to see? I want to see Ariel and Eric's relationship develop more. Okay, so they're probably still given the 3-day a maximum before they kiss and fall in love, but I mean, and in the original we get to see time develop between the two, but you see a montage of it. I'd like to see more time with them. I'd like them to do more. I'd like to see Eric kind of talk to her and try to figure out how to communicate with her. I mean, or even she figuring out what's the best way to communicate with him. The stage production actually did a great job doing that, where they showed that her dancing actually became her new language for the time being. It was really brilliant. I want to see the remake do something like that. I mean, why she cannot write, I mean, why she cannot write human language, I have no idea, especially considering she actually writes her name in the contract, but then again, maybe that's merfolk language or something. I don't know. I fairy tale logic, you say it. I what else do I want to say? What else do I want to see in this version? I want to see a hint on why Ursula gets banished from a I mean, I want to see it hinted more on why Ursula gets banished. I get it. In the deleted scene in the original version, she kind of does give. She does give a reason that she tried to elevate herself, and in the Broadway version, it gives a few more details, like she really killed Ariel's mother, and also she fought against Triton. There are even fan theories that she tried to develop her own Triton that to fight against Triton because he would not resurrect their father. And that's another thing. Are they going to hint at these two being brother and sister? Which I'm all for. The Broadway version was all for it, and I think the original Disney version was all for it too. So I wonder what they're going to do with that. I want to see what they do with Ursula and Triton's relationship, as well as I as well as what do you call? As well as show a little more on Ursula's personality. Also, another thing I'd like to see: allow Ariel and her father to make amends after defeating Ursula, or even during, because there was a great deleted scene in the original version where um Ursula gets defeated, and I and all her everybody who has been bound to her contracts are now freed, including Triton and Ariel. And as soon as Ariel sees him, she absolutely apologizes, and not the 2 seconds that we see in the final cut. She apologizes and hugs it out with him before she realizes, Eric, is he okay? And then goes up to the shore and finds him unconscious on the beach. If they kept that one moment in the movie, that would have been great. I would have loved it even more. But I guess they cut it partly because time restraints, but it had a great it had a great set of moments in there where they both make amends after they had hurt each other deeply, and then Triton ultimately realizes that Eric, who is quote unquote a fish eating barbarian, um, just saved his life and saved Ariel. So he turns Ariel human and is willing to let Eric marry her. So if they kept those moments in, it would have been phenomenal. I really hope that this version tries it and keeps it. Also, one person recommended this. I forgot who, but I thought it was a good idea. What if Ariel and Eric both took down Ursula together? I get it with the whole thing of wanting ladies to do everything nowadays, but they don't have to. I mean, men have their strengths the same. I mean, in a way that not every lady does. I mean, sometimes they can help save the day. Other times, women have to save the day. Other times, men have to save the day, or both. Both can do it. Like, what if in? I mean, and to whoever suggested this, I'm very sorry. I'm not meaning to steal your idea or steal your words, but if I can find you, I'm going to put your name in the description. So, I mean, or if somebody recognizes this, please tell me in the comments. So, what if Ariel and Eric both steered the ship straight into Ursula? I where Eric had been teaching Ariel how to drive a ship, because if she could drive if she could drive a carriage with the horses on her first try in the original movie, why can't she learn how to drive a ship? So if they both did it together and took Ursula down, or took her down in another way, I'd be all for it. That sounds like a cool climax. Another thing, I want to. I also want to see Ariel and her sisters get some development. I mean, I give kudos to the third Little Mermaid movie for developing the sisters and a little bit of Ariel's relationship with them. I But that's one of the few good things I can say about the third movie. Um, and giving each of them their own personalities and making them actually pretty cool. I mean, pretty good looking. I You've got these you've got these sisters in this version. I mean, take like maybe 5 minutes to develop Ariel's relationship with each of them. What do they mean to her in her life? Why is there a stake in her leaving her family behind? I Do each of the sisters matter to her? In the first movie, they were more kind of an afterthought. I mean, they didn't get any personality except they could sing great. I and they were kind of Valley Girlish in a way, but then again, they were more Valley Girlish in the third movie. But that's another time. So I want to see Ariel and her sisters. I develop a bond a bit. I Heck, maybe have them be part of the climax. That'd be just as cool. Family sticking together in a way. I and the last thing and the final thing I'd like to see in this movie is have Ariel learn something. Actually learn something. Because I know that that people argue whether or not Ariel actually learns from her mistake, but she, she kind of does not learn really that much. She gets what she wants. Ultimately, I yeah, she apologizes to her father, realizing her mistake, but she still gets what she wants. What did she really learn from this? What I In the original version, she she owns to the fact that she made a mistake. I and lives with lives and dies with the consequences. And yeah, you're not going to have Ariel die in this version. You can't do that. I I'd be shocked if Disney actually tried that. But with another female character. But yeah, I want to see Ariel actually learn from her mistakes in this version. Or even learn from the good moments too. Do both, because life, and every hero's journey, every journey that any character we've ever read or watched going through, they each learn from the mistakes they make and learn how to get better. I want to see that with Ariel. I want to see her realize her mistake and go up from there and learn from it. I Heck, what Rafiki said. I But the way I see it, you could either run from it or learn from it. I want to see Ariel do that in this version. And that's not to say that I don't like the original version. I love the original version. And I probably am going to do a review of it another time before the movie comes out. But until then, this has been my description, and I hope you have a great rest of the day and can't wait for this movie. I just can't wait for this movie to come out in the theaters. Watch it